Notice a war. Notice. Say, your body is your temple. Your one and only temple. Your body is your temple. Your one and only temple. You are living in the holy places.
Greetings, African family. I wanted to sit down and really go in on some topics and share with you our conversation. Baba Mantu and I were sitting down and we were really going in on some different concepts and even just talking about different case studies of people and this thinking how and going in on how they can walk back towards health, how they can take their lives from this place of this stuck place of maybe serious constipation or congestion or even issues with serious weight and things like that, and how they can take their bodies back towards health or even reset their health, even reset themselves in this moment to back to a better, to be able to reap more vitality, more energy, more health. And so what we were talking about was a woman whom, in this particular case, this sister was 360 pounds, and she came and she wanted to discuss with us the fact that she could not get pregnant. She was having a problem losing weight. So we discussed one of the things that I want to tell you off rip is that these are not actual cases. These are mixtures of cases that we put together just to be able to discuss it, because in general, our people in our community, not just where we live, but all over the world, are suffering from these similar issues. And so this is not one specific person. This is a patchwork quilt of several people that make up this particular health strategy, health story, and we wanted to discuss it with you all also. So this woman was 360 pounds and she could not get pregnant. And she was having a problem losing weight. What are some of the ways that she can help her?
I mean, well, first thing that comes to my mind when dealing with obesity, I mean, that's like actually and technically, clinically obese. Getting pregnant shouldn't be the first concern. And I'm just keeping it real. You know, that shouldn't be the first thing that you think to try to change your health based upon, because that person is at risk for diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and some very serious issues that will probably just be passed on to a child. So that should be a secondary concern beyond getting themselves healthy so that they can birth a healthy child. I mean, that's
powerful. That's
true.
True.
That's just how I look at that. And you know, naturally, there's going to be a period of there's going to be some lifestyle changes and probably some pretty aggressive or major lifestyle changes, because typically the patterns that will leave a person very obese are going to be things that need to be stopped. Not to get pregnant necessarily, but to avert a heart attack immediately, to avoid a stroke, to avoid diabetes. I mean, you can't just walk around like that year after year after year with no consequence. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the consequences come swift. Mm-hmm. So my approach and our approach at the Body Temple is not to just give the standard party line answer to, you know, what a person would do. First of all, you have to decide that yourself. We're not even going to play that. We are not doctors. We're not, anyone that's going to take on that role. You have to do your own research, and we can share with you some things that could work and help based upon our experiences.
Yeah. But ultimately, you have to be your own savior. Yeah. And you have to choose for yourself that you are the one that is going to make the difference today.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
that, I mean, there's a lot of psychological stuff that goes into obesity.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, and that's the stuff that has to be addressed first. A lot of stuffed down emotions and all of these things that go into that, which will also inhibit getting pregnant and
Mhm.
possibly,
Will
you know,
inhibit your vitality, your energy.
yeah. I mean, this person's definitely got a sluggish physiology that does not eliminate well at all,
Yeah.
and is congested. I
Mhm.
mean, we hear people who think that they have sufficient bowel movements um, every day, and that's just not. That could not be the case. And like we said in a previous video, when you cleanse or when you fast is when you will find out just how clogged even just the bowels themselves are.
Yeah, yeah.
If be on liquids for just a couple of days and still see the amount of waste that comes out, had you not been on liquids those days and fasted, you would never have known. That's the waste would have just still been in there, taking a lot longer to get out.
To come out. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't like using passive language when it comes to these extreme cases. It seems normal today. That's very abnormal. To be 360 pounds, and chances are, whether you've been diagnosed or not, you're right there. You're very close to high blood pressure. You're very close to diabetes. You're very close to a lot of things, contrary to how it's presented by the medical establishment for their gain in being able to prescribe,
Different. Mm-hmm.
pharmaceuticals and things of that nature.
Yes.
Keep it real with yourself first. You
Yeah.
got some problems. Let's start from there with understanding that you have some issues, and let's work from there.
Mm-hmm. I would say too that that person should look up, do more research, ask your healthcare practitioner about ways to help you to eliminate, ways to help you to detoxify, and ways to help you to purify those organs and strengthen those organs that you have, those to be able to discern which organs are the ones that are congested and constipated. You need help. Having be at 360 pounds or over 300 anything, you definitely need if 250 pounds anything, you're gonna need some support in helping your body, helping yourself to discover what is the where is the issue
source
coming
of
from,
your
the
issues,
source of
yeah.
your issue. Mhm.
And like we said in the previous video, fruits and vegetables as a base. Those are the natural few foods for human beings.
It's fruits and
Fruits and vegetables, and build around that. I understand that people can't make certain changes overnight in a lot of cases. In a lot of cases, it will make it very uncomfortable, if not dangerous, to do so. But yet, and still, I don't like using the language that makes it seem like we have a lot of time in our communities. We don't. A lot of these changes are going to have to be made pretty rapidly now because of the level of deterioration that's occurred. I just don't. I don't think people have years to get off meat and years to get off a lot of these bad. I just don't. I don't look at it that way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When I look out my window, when I look, at the state of health in our communities, I don't see that kind of time. So there's some things where our people are now, because of, I guess you would say, a karma of the way we've consumed for over a long period of time. Now we're forced to jump into things even before we even might think before we're psychologically ready.
Yes.
Because your body wants to give that stuff up right
now.
You know what I mean? Or it will benefit from you giving it up right now.
What do you feel like? So we have a case in which a man has pain in his arm, or there's some sort of high blood. There's a heart disease in issue. A lot of brothers are having this hypertension presentation, and they don't really know how to deal with these symptoms, or even that they need to ask for help with these.
Yeah, I mean, once again, when you say,
Like,
I think you mentioned like a pain in the right arm or
mhm,
something like that.
mhm.
I mean, that's an emergency situation. I mean, I don't think we should speak passively when it comes to stuff like that. Yes, you have something to be very concerned about immediately.
Yeah.
Whatever your other aspirations are in life and everything, you're going to have to do it in conjunction with, or it's going to really have to take a back burner to your health, or you might not be around to accomplish these other goals. I just don't think it's to our benefit. I don't think it would be to a person's benefit for me to sugarcoat things for them and make it seem like that's something that, well, you might want to stop. No, you need to stop immediately with the cholesterol forming
Foods,
flesh.
artificial colors, right.
I mean, and I'm an advocate that you can live without me. Other things are harder to give up. You can live without me. It's not going to kill you.
What do you think about a man's today? Black men have a diet. They have a thought about how they should eat. It's almost like an unspoken, unsaid that they feel like not eating meat will make them soft, or they may feel like you gotta have
That's a
meat.
caveman mentality. That's a European mindset. Because Europeans have mastered the ability to convince everyone that the standards that they need are the standards that they convince themselves that they need.
Mm-hmm.
So they eat steaks, they eat all of this flesh and everything, and they convince people that that's what you need as well. And they make themselves the case study to say that this is what's normal. These are normal protein levels.
Right.
When I didn't eat this, this is what happened to me.
Right.
Give them back their standards and come outside of some of these medical boxes.
That they gave it.
With the food pyramid and all of these things. Who has it helped? The food pyramid. Where are the results? What's the fruit of that?
Mm-hmm.
When you look out the street, the food pyramid exists right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people
try
who struggle with a lot of these issues try to stick to it as much as possible. That standard is not good enough. It's not good enough for the level of emergency of which our communities find themselves. Mm-hmm. So we certainly police brutality, all these things are major issues. But the amount of our people who are dying by diseases that are caused by our lifestyles are astronomical in comparison even to police brutality.
How do you feel?
1,000-fold times more.
Yeah. Literally, I think during this time of year, actually, I would say that a lot of people fall victim to constipation, fall victim to, I would say, madness due to constipation. Literally losing their minds due to constipation in its many different forms, cholesterol, congestion, and what have you. Do you feel that that's a weapon being used against us? We're eating ourselves to death.
Right, and a lot of it is societal values. Once again, give them back that this culture that has not served us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not necessarily saying that I'm a traditionalist in any particular one African culture. We have to deal with what is in front of us right now, and even some of the so-called traditional foods and diets might not work for these youth who are growing up born with these diseases and situations that they're born with today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not advocating that now all of a sudden you try to emulate a diet of fufu and a lot of things that will also cause problems in the condition in which we currently find ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating that at all. I'm saying that let's stay with the basis. We all know all over the world, fruits and vegetables should be a basis of a healthy, even biblically. In the very first book of the Bible, Genesis 1:29, fruits and vegetables. There again.
Simple as that.
Fruit is your medicine, and fruit should be a meat, and herbs should be a medicine.
Yeah.
Leafy vegetables.
Yeah.
So however you want to slice it and dice it, you know, we're in too high of a state of emergency to try to put a band-aid on a gaping wound. You know, what I mean, it's going to require more diligent approach and a more I guess people will feel like a radical approach, but ain't nothing more radical than a heart attack or stroke to me. And that's just
Yeah.
real. You know what I mean?
Or nothing more radical than carrying around
open heart surgery. That's right.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know,
that's deep. It's like white folks are running through our communities, running past us, and while we're pulling up to fast food windows. And
they're the reason why there's more variety of fruits and vegetables in the store right now.
Yeah.
And yet it's still now our people, you know, we unfortunately we emulate them, but only in the things that don't
only
serve
in our
us.
hair color.
And the vehicles we drive and our dress code and all of these things.
And
but
things
you
like
know,
that, but we don't emulate them.
The health trends.
In the health trends, right.
And,
it's time. I think that it's time for us as African people in the Ma'afa to begin taking on a religion of self-preservation. And that's the reason why we're having these health discussions. It's time to begin to see yourself as so valuable that you will seek to preserve yourself. So necessary on this planet right now that you don't want to just be in front of people and have the stars and the light shining in your face. No, you want to live. That's more important. What's more important is not for everybody to know your name, but for you to remember your name. Because remember, we have grandparents that died and had dementia for years. We have people who, you know, have passed away of high blood pressure, heart disease at 50 years old. That's not old. We've had women who have had fibroid tumors that are as large as a grapefruit, and they were only 28 and 29 years old. We've had men with erectile dysfunction in their 30s. What? You see what I'm saying?
And even in that situation, which I'm sure as people watch this video, some men will gasp for air. In a situation where there is erectile dysfunction, there are usually other more important issues, like an enlarged prostate, probably blood pressure, maybe as a result of blood pressure medicine or something like that. That's not the real issue here. Let's just keep it real. That's not the thing that you focus on first. You know what I mean? You go to the root cause of things. And I would say deal with it very seriously, diligently, and with your full attention. And treat it as an emergency, because it's at least a potential emergency.
True. This is a health consultation. This is a health concentration blog, video blog, a health concentration blog. And we'll be doing even more of these discussions. Join in your comments. Bring your comments. And even if you have questions, bring them up. We'll talk about them in the next video. And we can continue this discussion on and on. You know, our people are in need, and we are standing in a place of a serious health crisis.
Take your health seriously.
Ashe.
You don't shed no tears,